What's going on, my fellow humans and resellers? It is Friday, and you know what that means? The best, newest show that may happen one day, but it's not here. Found on Friday! Alright. First up, we've got to go to the post office and drop off what little sales we did have. And they're on the bikes with the lights rolling by. You see me rolling. Alright, and let's see where we're going. You want to see something that's been going on for 6 years? Actually, maybe even a little bit longer than that. Actually, yeah, definitely longer than that. You don't have to have license plates anymore. This fake plate's been on this car for well over 6 years. Curious to see if he's ever got any tickets. How's it going? Have a good weekend. All the time. It just goes to show, especially here in St. Louis. I mean, people got paper plates that are years old. Literally, you'll see them 3 years old. Templates. Alrighty, we're gonna take my little normal route. Today is Friday. So I'm gonna get me a little frozen Coke today. But along the way, I hit my normal route for yard sales. Been kind of light this year so far. All right, second one. Oh, drama. I missed it. It's like the crazy people are out today, huh?
Yeah, I did. I ran on him. What's going on? It's too hot for this.
Are you going back to Coke?
Oh, no.
Okay.
All kinds of stuff.
All right. All right, here we go. Trying a new voiceover project. Using that Splice app I use to make these videos and put them together, I found that they have a voiceover piece. So I'm trying this for the first time, see how it works out. So to my local St. Vincent's found on Friday, the usual suspect place that I hit. I was in a jovial mood Friday. Always got to stop and look in the cases. And the second thing I always do is kind of look to see if they got some new racks that they pushed out that they're putting out from stock from the back. So I see some little figure on the cases they're working on, and I'm walk over to try to figure out what it was. Turns out to be a camel. But nothing special. Very cheap and light. And always go straight to the electronics section. Now, as always, and I've said in the past, you'll see me make several passes because you'll notice that I missed stuff on the first pass. This ended up being like a CD player that hangs on the wall like that. I was trying to figure out what that was. And we got a cordless home phone set. And as I said before, when you sell these, if you're part of the international eBay shipping, do not sell those. Those will get taken down if they go on the UK website. Well, actually, I don't know how you can't have international shipping on them at all on the US site. So, because a lot of them are illegal in the UK because of the frequency they're on. So I found these cool old car stereos, cassette players. There ended up being 3 different ones here. The easiest way to look these up is to find the model number on the radio. That one, I don't remember what that was. Toyota or a Hyundai or something. The one on top was a Ford. One thing about, since this is kind of, this Found on Friday series is kind of pushed toward people, trying to start out part-time or doing part-time and want to go to full-time or whatever. Make sure you take your time and look things up. You'll notice in this video I take a lot of time to do that because I was trying to be in that mindset of Found on Friday, because the less chances you take at the beginning, the better off you're going to be. If there's a question mark, it may not be worth the risk until later on when you're, in the profit and what have you. So this is week 4 of doing this. And at the end of the video, we'll go through all the items and I'll give you more details about them and the prices and stuff. So I looked that one up. That ended up being a Ford. It had good comps. One had sold. I kind of tried to show the camera there, but I didn't really get a good view. I think it was over $100. And then I found that one I'm looking at there, which is new, old stock of an aftermarket cassette player. Had never even been installed. I used to install car stereos back in the day for people I knew. So I looked that one up there. Then at this point, I'm starting to realize I should have grabbed a cart. One thing that you don't realize, and of course it depends on your type of personality and what have you. Always grab a cart. Always make yourself comfortable when you're doing this, because then you have less things on your mind and you can focus better. And something simple as making sure you have a cart as opposed to carrying everything in your hand. You don't have to balance and then sit down and pick up, and then you might leave something behind or, whatever. So always grab a cart. Just make yourself comfortable. Because at this point, I'm realizing I should have grabbed a cart. I came in with the mindset of just grabbing a couple, and then I already started with a handful. That's a bag of just random knobs. And then that piece looked like parts for that aftermarket radio there. So I'm seeing if that faceplate piece fits around there, and it looked like it did, so I had to throw that there. And then that bag of knobs looked pretty cheap, so I ended up, or it was priced pretty cheap, so normally on stuff like that, you can sell it as a lot. And here I'm looking up the camera. This is one of the old disc cameras. They had $1 on it, but they think they were selling for like $12, free shipping, so I passed on that. And then I realized, time to get a cart. See, if I edit my videos, I could edit all this little stuff out, but I'm not at that point. Not yet, anyway. Plus, I don't mind coming back to get the cart, actually, because, like I said, I have to make several passes, buy things before I even see everything. So, in the electronics aisle, there is something there that I end up coming back for. And now that I'm watching this video, I see it, and I did not see it at the time, and then I come back and notice it. So I go back, and now this is not the piece. I come back later, but I wanted to look this up. I started to look this up until I saw the car stereos. I think it's a paint remover, a steamer, wall steamer of some sort. Something like that. I've sold like the sprayers before, but that one ended up not being worth it. There, I'm taking an offer for a strawberry shortcake now. I think it sold for $10. And then I remember seeing little toys on the end cap over here, so I wanted to go back and take a closer look at those just in case they were vintage, and they were not. Or at least nothing special. And the one definitely wasn't vintage. But I don't think either one was. Past the lamps, always look at the lamps. Looking for like things that just stand out, kind of very unique, if you will. Of course, we gotta look at the toys. So no good toys or games at this location. Then I tell this dude, "Get out of my way! I will run you over." Okay, I didn't do that. So I start looking here on the odds and ends. I start to move that dish to get to that steamer, and I felt the heaviness of this the dish. So when I felt the heaviness of it, I picked it up and looked at see if there was a name on it, and there was. I don't remember offhand, but I'll go over more details of that at the end of the video. A lot of times you can tell the quality of something by the weight of it. So if you pick up a dog dish and it feels heavier than a normal dog dish, well, a little red flag went off in my head, and that led to me looking it up, and they wanted $250 for it. And I tried to show the camera here, but can't really see it. Those were, I think it was about $20 to $25 is what it was selling for. So then I got to that steamer for wallpaper. Look that up. This one ended up being on the fence. It was one of those, well, it could be, it may not be. It was, I think they wanted $6 for it, and they were moving for like 30, if I remember correctly, in good condition, or decent condition, great condition, whatever. So I take a little bit of time on this. Then I end up opening it up and realizing it's pretty beat up. So that was the indication of it wasn't worth it. And now that I'm looking at this, what's that other thing sitting there by that dog dish, where the dog dish was? I didn't even see that. So I look it up, it's pretty rough condition, so I'm like, nah. And of course, always got to look through the media right quick. I probably should have looked that front piece up there. Then I'm looking for sealed VHS tapes. Looking for some sealed DVDs and or video games stuck in between. More VHS. And then we go take a look at the CDs. They all look like the same ones that's been sitting there for the last 4 weeks. Then we got the dental office chair, the waiting room chair. All right, where do I go next? I don't remember. All right. Start working my way just down the random aisles. Here I look for like new stuff, or like if there's any Ziploc bags full of different pens or anything. There's a lot of pen collectors out there and stuff, so I look for art supplies or sealed office supplies, stuff like that. Then I figured time to get over here and kind of check the clothing and shoes. I saw these and they looked like vintage. They were FUBU, so I kind of passed on them for FUBU. I should have looked them up. If they were Nike, I probably would have grabbed them because they were vintage. I didn't feel like paging through all the shirts this week, so I kind of just do a random search, but I'll come back to these in a second. I was working my way to the shoes. I always try to go to the shoes next to see if there's anything to grab quickly. Then I saw that. I'm like, that might be worth looking up. So doing a spot check on the shoes. Nothing good there today. So then I just start kind of paging through, and then I'm going to look up that Mickey shirt. And I'm like, ooh, I wonder if shirts work with Google Lens. I've never tried that before with a shirt. Let's try that. So here I'm using Google Lens, and it did. Brought some up on eBay and some sold on Poshmark. There ended up being one on eBay for $20. So this is one of them I was on the fence about because they wanted $5.25 for. And for $5.25 and a 20 is not worth it for me. In this Found on Friday video. But being there was only one, and there was sold comps on Posh. I didn't look at the price, I don't think. I just noticed they were sold. But this is another item that is one of those on the fence items. It's either you're going to take a risk with it or you're not going to. Because you may only pull, say, $10 of profit in on it. And not sure how long that might take. But being it's a Disney Hawaiian shirt, we're in the middle of summer. It may move quicker. So you got a lot of variables to take into play when you're making a decision like that. At first I thought that was that band. I can't remember the black MP and X or something. I don't remember, but anyway. So now I just kind of do a little random looking for things that pop out at me. Instead of paging all the way through it again. Figured most of it was going to be the same as last week, so let's look for some pops. I was going to look that up. I don't think I did. Because I forget the name of it. I was going to look it up and put flamingos. Oh, that because I got distracted by this. Go grab my cart. I got distracted by the Spider-Man tee and totally forgot to look that other one up. And so I'm like, ooh, Google Lens worked once. Let's do it again. So we got an all-over print Spider-Man right here. And I don't think it was $1.50, or I would have just grabbed it automatically and not even looked it up. I think they had $3.25 on it. I don't remember. But they had good, there was good comps, or at least good asking price. One had sold on Depop. That one was it was already gone. So it didn't show how much it sold for. This one I thought about getting, but the cat was just ugly. I'm like, I don't know. If the cat was cuter, that would probably sell better, but it almost looked like a ripoff of the Grumpy Cat. So it's like, I found the Popeye, legit Popeye shirt with the hip-hop feel theme going. Google Lens once again. And saw good comps, so I'm like, bonus. Because they may have had $3.25 on that one also. Didn't come up with Google Lens, so I typed in Popeye shirt hip hop. I always try to get instrument shirts. It was $1.50, so. I saw that. I think the name was Russ or something of that nature. It was vintage. So I just type in the title, the brand and shirt, and I didn't see that one, but some others came up with some decent asking prices, so. And about here's where I start getting in the mood of like, you know what? I'm just going to start taking chances today. Sometimes you're in that mood. So I kind of switched from a Found on Friday feel and started going, I'm following my instincts today. I feel like I'm on a roll with instincts. I'm just going to follow instincts today. Now, what I would suggest is your instincts are going to be better the more you learn. So if you're new and just starting out and trying to, doing this part-time, knowledge is going to be the power to it all. And the longer you do it, the more you learn, and the more you can just act on instincts. Like this. This was a unique Nike shirt, so it was definitely worth something looking up. At the same time, I'm kind of talking with the lady who was there next to me, so I think I take a little bit too much time on this shirt. And because at first I couldn't find this exact one, there was others in the same realm, and they were kind of all over the place price-wise, so I decided to do the Google image. I don't know if it was here or if I went back to eBay, but I ended up finding one, and it only sold for like $12. And I can't see the price here because I don't think it was a $1.50 one. And I realized there was extra words at the bottom, so I ended up typing in the extra word. It was like fitness or something, so I typed in the fitness. Ooh, I need to rent out the space on my left arm there like an ad. That'd be kind of cool. No, James, because then you'd have to edit. No, I could put a piece of scotch or a piece of masking tape on my arm with written advertisement on it. Redoptionagency.com. So, time to start just making my way through the pants and then start working my way back through the same old sections again. Make sure I didn't miss anything. And then at this point, I'm like, oh, I got to go check the Christmas stuff. But first, let me walk over here. I can't, if I come home without getting Jan something, she always asks, did you find any Christmas stuff? So here I got to go look at Christmas stuff. Then I spot these vintage pieces there. They're called, what are they called? Krebs, I believe. And those 3 boxes, they were very unique. So I just threw them in and go, okay, those are hers. So then I saw that one and the other ones, I decided to look them up. Since my holiday section is going to be growing in my store. That one wasn't worth it. I looked those up. I think they were going for about $12. But the ones in the box, they look to have been wore. Like they had some wear on them. So they wouldn't have been in perfect condition. I think they were asking $1.25 a box. So I ended up passing on those. Then I think this is where it catches my eye. I'm like, ooh. Got this framed picture of a guy standing in front of an old plane. I'm on the fence because it's like $15. I love old photographs. I do a Google image search just to make sure it's not something common out there, because it looked unique enough not to be. Then I decided to look in the back and see if it was an actual photograph or a print, and it looked like an actual photograph. It had the picture marking on the back. So I'm like, okay, am I found on Friday or am I James? What am I doing with this? It's $15. James would buy it. Found on Friday would pass. What does James do? You tell me. Does James stay in found on Friday mode, or does James go into James mode? James goes into James mode. I was told you I was transitioning into that instinct mode, and it went in the cart. That, for me, what drives that instinct mode type of thing? Would I regret not picking that up if I got in the car and drove off? That item probably would have been a yes. Then it looked like somebody tried covering this picture up, so I'm like, okay, let's check this out. So I do a Google search of this picture. Hopefully we can get a good shot of it with the camera here. It's like an overweight cow. Like it's filled with milk. And I think it said dairy on it or something to that nature. Yeah, dairy. They only wanted $15 for it, but it was huge. I did find one on Etsy. Asking price was, I want to say $180, but it was just asking, and the thing was so big it would have been a pain to ship. So that one, that was another item. I'm like, even James mode would only grab that if it was 100% foolproof. And being I only found one on Etsy, an asking price, not a sold price. So big, glass. I don't ship a lot of them, so I don't really have the infrastructure to ship those easily and quickly. So I played all those variables in my head as I'm still looking. So a lot can go into a decision whether to buy or not buy a piece, depending on your situation. So I pass on it. If you're somebody who sells a lot of pictures, that probably would have been an instant pickup. And that's one of those, I almost feel bad for leaving it behind, but then I think how much of a pain it would have been for me to ship personally. Because I would have had to go out and buy bubble wrap and buy some styrofoam, because I have none in stock right now. So going back through the toys, see if I missed anything. Oh yeah, I did find these little Super Balls. I've sold lots of Super Balls before, because some of the older ones, I don't know how to identify them yet or how to sell them yet. So I still do Super Balls in lots when I find them. And there was 2 in there that looked old. So I went ahead and grabbed it. I think they had $1.50 on it. Again, James mode, not found on Friday mode. Following the instinct. And then had the Mind Trap game, but it wasn't complete, so I figured I'd look it up and see if there was any comps for like parts and pieces, but the whole game wasn't selling for good money at all, like $12 I think, so it wasn't worth picking up just these partial. So back it goes. Do I go back to electronics? Where do I go? Yes. Back to electronics, because chances are I missed something. Pick up the clock, see that it's cheap, feel that it's cheap first, and then I noticed a box that I didn't notice before. I'm like, oh, what's this? So I see a barcode, decide to scan it. Look it up. I think they had $6 on it, if I remember correctly. Then I open it up and notice that it's brand new. It's still wrapped in the cellophane. I'm like, all right, this is interesting. The one that came up, they wanted $6 for this. I'm making sure everything's there. There's a new one that was nothing came up, so I type it in. Okay, that's right. The barcode didn't come in, work. So I type it in and I get kind of a little shock. One comes up new. I think it was $79.99. So I would have been kicking myself if I left that behind for $6. None sold, one listed at $80. At new, I'm like, if I put this up for $59 with a new open box, that'll be worth the risk there. So I make sure that the parts and pieces still look brand new also. And they look like they've never been touched. So that was definitely a score that I'm glad I came back down that aisle and found, because it was sitting there earlier in the video also. So one of those items that I walked right by and would have totally missed. If I was into furniture, that piece was cool there. I like that piece. And I think we only got a couple more minutes here before I end this section of the video. But I think I go over here through the women's section real quick, or do I? I think so. Notice a little rack, kind of look at it. Looks like all women's pants. So I'm like, not one of my strong points. So walk over here to the glass. Check this side out. Go up against the wall. Just kind of glancing around, see if anything jumps out at me. Something vintage looking, colorful, bright, unique. And the same for the women's shoes. I don't feel like spending a lot of time looking up. Women's shoes are one of my weaker areas, but you can make money if you spend the time typing in some of these names, or if you know them. It's usually a pretty good store to find women's shoes at, but I didn't want to invest the time. I end up looking up a couple. Here, these Steve Maddens jumped out at me. So I look at the tag. A lot of times there'll be a name on the tag, like the style name of these types of shoes. So I type in Steve Madden, and I don't remember what the title of the shoe was. Or actually, I type it in. I'm like, why am I typing? I could talk it. Oh, and then it typed antique, and it was supposed to be an antique. So I said antique, but it typed in antique. That was the name of the shoe, antique. And the gold ones were not selling for much. And then also, too, anytime I see multiples of things, I look them up just in case, because one of the best things about reselling is multiples. One listing with several items. Easy way to list a nice find. So I see all these shoes there. I forget the name. They were just slip-on, but that whole top was filled with them. They had $8.25 on them, though. I'm like, that's crazy. So I type it in. They were like a $10 shoe. And I'm like, nope. Finito there. And then I kind of glance at the women's shirts. Sometimes there's t-shirts mixed in. and nothing there. So I'm getting ready to check out, so I figured I'll turn the camera off before I check out, and so it's getting ready to end here in a second, and then we're going to look at all the items I bought and go over them in more detail. All right, so found no yard sales, but I did hit a second thrift store. I figured enough video footage from one would probably be sufficient enough. The second one, because it would have been a long video like last week. I'll probably still do 2 separate videos, so at the end here we'll go through and see all the items I found, and then a separate video we'll see what has already sold, where we're at money-wise for the whole Found on Friday series, and see. But I've got a passenger now. Big old guy. So let's go see what I got. What's going on, everybody? All right, we're getting ready to go through the stuff. We'll go through what you saw on video first, and then I'll show you what was not on video. But first, I'll get these 2 bigger pieces out of the way so I can get them out of my way. We got a Toshiba. We've got a combo player right here. I already got this drafted and completed, and we got this mint colored Crosley turntable. Newer, has the USB or the RCA cables. That I've got up for $99. This I put up for, since it was mint color, I think I was the only, there was no other mint colors up there. One had sold at $39 without the power cord. This one has the power cord, so I put it up for $49. So, and it's got a cool little sticker on it. So we will see how fast that sells. Hopefully fast. Just to give you an idea, since I'm doing the numbers on a separate video, I'll at least give you what I've spent on this stuff since you're seeing it. The first thrift store that you saw, I ended up spending $60. And then the second one, $88. So, boom. So we got, what, 150-ish? Almost 150. So I just decided to go whatever today. Instead of just looking for high dollar stuff, I don't know, I just got in the zone and just kind of just was going with it. So that's what I did. Following instincts and stuff like that. I didn't hit no yard sales, 2 thrift stores, but I was kind of just zoned in a little bit better. So I'm curious to see if I missed anything on that video. Because I felt good today. So I can't go to a thrift store without getting jammed something. So I'll probably deduct these. They were only $1.25 a piece. So I'll deduct these from the 150-ish. But there were some Victoria. They're pretty cool design. The other ones that were there in the video, I haven't voiced over that video yet. So if you're hearing things double time, I do apologize. But I haven't voiced over that video yet. The other ones were like $12.99 with free shipping. The plain looking ones. So I figured even if she don't want these, I'll add them back on and sell them. But I got a feeling she'll want these. So. But let's go. We'll start with this because I love old photographs. They had it hefty priced, $15. But when I opened up the back, you could tell it's an actual photograph because it has the print on it. So that was the pushing over the edge on that. Since I personally love photographs, I can't tell his outfit. You have any idea on the outfit? Military? Is it some type of ranger, park ranger? Oh, if you have any idea, I'll do a little research on that. And I don't really see a name on the plane, so if you're a plane expert and you actually even know that plane, let me know. I didn't want to pay $15 for it on the Found on Friday, but I didn't want to leave it behind. So what I'm probably going to do is, since I love old photographs and I like they're kind of situated in here in various places. I think you might be able to see one back there. Well, maybe I didn't put the other ones back up yet, but I'll probably just elevate the price, because some of the military ones were highly priced. So after I do research, my game plan right now is highly priced, $50-$60 in the store, but use it as a display piece in here. So that's the original plan. Something I should not have done on the Found on Friday, but hey, so be it. So be it. Next up, we got, I can't lose these little pieces. This dog dish. And it caught my eye just because of the quality, the thickness of it. And it said Mason Cash, made in England on the back. So $2.50, and I forget what these were comping at when I was looking it up, but enough to make some money on it. So that was good. I love Super Balls. $1.50. I probably overpaid. This one looks kind of vintage, and so does that one. That one's not a Super Ball. That's plastic. But Super Balls are various. I don't know enough about them. Actually, this might be this has a Super Ball, but I'll look them up. So $1.50. My original first thought is put them in the store for like $20. So I've sold lots of Super Balls before, and they didn't hang around too long, so we'll see. I bought 2 of those car radios you saw. This one still had a little tag on it, and it looks brand new. When you even look at the wires and stuff, it don't look like it's ever been attached. So it looks brand new. Maxima cassette player. And you'll have to check my store to see what I'm putting them up at, because I don't remember the comps. But it only had $3 on it. And then I saw this little bag here, and it looks like it has the plastic piece that goes around the front of that when you're installing it. So these may be the buttons also. It's got a little hole in it, so I'll open this up and check the make sure these are the right parts, but it's like $1.50 for those. So I'll see if those are for that or not. So, but yeah, so that cool vintage, brand new old stock. Very cool piece. And then I took a chance on, the other one wasn't really worth anything, but this is a Ford car radio. And I took a chance that it might work because it has like an Autotronics place on it, on page, like I guess it was an old electronics store. And I would think I don't know if they would have tested it or not, but I will sell it as if it's new. Not new, but that it as is does work, so hopefully it does. That's what I kind of do on these. And if they don't work, I just do a full refund. I don't even say, don't worry about sending it back. Make it easy for the customer, because I have no real way to test it. So I'll probably put something in there not tested but guaranteed to work type of thing. So this one was comping pretty decent. $3. Maybe I saw it on the phone and said something in the thing, but I don't remember. But this was a decent comp, and I think one had sold if I remember correctly. So that's why I went ahead and grabbed that. Then they had the bag there of all the knobs and stuff from radios and what have you. I figured this came from that same place, so I figured this is just probably miscellaneous stuff. And little miscellaneous pieces like that can go good in lots. What I will do is look through here for any names first and just kind of spot check to make sure there ain't anything in here that is sought after. If it is, I'll take it out and put it up separate. If not, I'll just put it all in a lot. Pay $2.25 for it. I'll kind of look at other lots to see what knob lot say that fast. Knob lots are selling for and price it based on that. I figured it was definitely worth more than $2.25. My initial thought maybe 25, 30 bucks, but we'll see. Could be wrong there. I do not know. I have no experience in lots of knobs. This thing, the Akira Digital, made for iPods, looks brand new. $6. One was up there, I think it was new, for $79.99, I believe it was. So this will be like a new open box. So I might price it like 10 bucks cheaper, but it still has the cellophane around it. I'll make sure all the pieces are here, because it had, I mean, none of this has been touched. So, and it's got the paperwork. So I'll make sure it's all here, but that might be going up for about, 60 bucks. So, very nice. Paid $6 for it. So, very cool find there. There's another one. I knew there was more in there. Now this one, I wasn't going to get, but I just couldn't turn it down. I thought I had a $5 at this store, but I guess I didn't at this store. That's why I went ahead and decided to get this Disney Hawaiian type shirt. They had it $5.25. I figured when I'm shopping and I have a $5 off, I kind of look at things a little differently. Like, what item do I want to use that $5 on, if you will? So I'm like, I could use it on this, and my cost would be 25 cents. And looks like they're pricing at $20 to $25. But unfortunately, I did not have the $5 off at that store. So it is what it is. I got enough profit here that I'm not going to worry about it. And then at that store, I also got the Popeye shirt. That size large, but it looks like an extra large. That's a big for a large. But that was kind of cool. Maybe I'll wear that in one of my videos before I sell it. The t-shirts are $1.50. This one was $3.75. But I comped them, and they were comping, higher than 20, I believe. So that's why I went ahead and got that one. And then the all-over print of the Spider-Man 2. Those were all up there for decent amounts of money. And there was some that had sold. So pretty cool. Spider-Man piece there. Next up, we've got, I don't like passing up instrument names, and it's only $1.50. So Ludwig drum set, drum brand. So normally on the Found It Fridays, I'm not touching stuff like this, but today I'm just like, whatever. I just got in that mood. We'll do the numbers, and I'll talk more why I went into that mindset on the next video. But there's some method to my madness. Next up, we had this vintage piece called Russ. And I did, I think, a Google Lens on this. No, maybe I did search vintage Russ. And they had some good comps on them. I don't think I looked at sold. It was asking prices. This is $5.25 too. I went ahead and took a risk on that. Like I said, it was one of those days where I'm like, whatever. following kind of my first instincts, if you will. Not putting even though I looked it up. Still, I kind of went on the instincts, but then I tried to look it up to at least follow the kind of the guideline of the Found on Friday thing. All right, next up is some stuff that I found at the second thrift store. I don't pass, ever since I got Vern, I don't pass up plush St. Bernards. But I think what I'm going to do now is I know a lot of you guys loved Vern from the videos. So I think what I want to do now is when I find them, I want to set up some kind of a YouTube auction, live auction with you guys. And I'll promote it on my Facebook and everywhere. And do an auction and then donate the money to St. Louis Stray Rescue that saved Vern. And then donate the money in Vern's name. And I got an idea. I can make copies of I think that's my idea. If I could find maybe create some little necklace charm, copy these and maybe shrink them down and put them on like a little necklace charm. Do you think? Would you guys be interested in doing something like that for St. Louis Stray Rescue? And then I can match it and donate to them. And then every time I find one, I will do it and, you know, give back to Stray Rescue. So I think that's what my kind of thought was. So unless it changes, that's where I'm going to go. So I'll make try to turn this into necklace pieces and go from there. You sit up. Okay. Now we got the hard part out of the way. But you're not going to believe what I found. If you watched one of the other, was it a Found on Friday? Or was it just I don't remember. I have to look in my store, but I found another one. $4.50. And this one too, it doesn't look as perfect, but pretty damn close. I mean, there's nothing on this. I mean, there's a little piece there that looks like it can be wiped off, but no scuffs, scratches, dings, and we've got some of not as much as the last one, but at least I got a person this time. So the other one hasn't sold yet. I've got some. This one has more animals. Got the pig. I don't think the other one had the roosters and the chicken. So, oh, I got 3 of the people. So there we go. The other one I put up for like $59 or something. I've had watchers, and I've done offers to watchers on it, but nobody snagged it up yet. But now I got number 2. So I was shocked to see that, and to see another one in that kind of condition. All right, next up is this bag of stuff for $2.50. And there's only one reason I grabbed it, and I didn't look it up. I probably should have, but I didn't. And that is this Mario, because it looks special. Some of these Mario ones, like I remember 7-Eleven had a bunch, and I would buy them all from the 7-Eleven, and I would held on to them in my video game collection, and I ended up getting, like, I think like out of the Bowser one I got like 60 bucks out of. So I know some of these Mario plushes can go for some good money. And this one looked like he don't normally have the white hat and the white shirt, I don't think. He looked like different color Mario. Because I can't remember exactly what he looked like, but he definitely looks different. So he was the reason I grabbed that. Let me, do I got my other phone around here? Let me see if I can do a Google image. See if I've lost any money or not. Ooh, a 23-inch one somebody's got up for $130. $10. Asking price, $16. At least pays for the bag, so. Not a home run, but won't lose money. And then who knows what else is in here. Got this little spiral football. I don't know who she is yet, but we'll figure her out. She turns on and off, whatever she does. So we got her. Oh, a little Elmo. A little Minion. Nothing else major, I don't think. So whatever that is. And this robot guy. So probably nothing major else in there, so he'll probably make my profit, and then those usually sell pretty fast, so we'll see if he does. And then Canon calculator. These desk calculators, if you run across them, look them up. I believe this one was comping around 30 bucks. They had 425 on it. At that same thrift store, I probably bought, this has probably been a few years now, a couple years. I bought, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 of these different models. And I think I just sold one a week ago also. And that may have been my last one. But a lot of them sold pretty quick. So there is an audience out there for those. So always look those up when you come across them. And they're easy to look up. You just put in the name and the model number. And if you want, plug them in to make sure they're working at the store or whatever. So, all right, next up. Oh, I'll show you this guy first. Ugh, they put him out while I was there. And I'm like, dude, I ain't leaving this behind. Cause check it out. $5.50 for this big guy with the Coca-Cola brand tag. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm like, hell no, I'm not leaving him. And I didn't, at first glance, I didn't see this particular one up on eBay. I saw one where he was holding a red, like, soda cup or something. And some of the bigger ones were priced at about $100. So I know some of these can go for good money. So for $5, I wasn't leaving him behind. So the shipping won't be hard to ship. Just throw him in a box. I will probably see how much he costs first, because this is a little bit bigger than, and with the whole new ground advantage, see what he would cost to ship before I list him to make sure I'm not going to lose any money on him. And then I can price him appropriately. So got him. And then another, sorry, my sinuses plus that little tearing up, making me sniffle. So here's another of the not typical found on Friday thing. But as I said, I'll explain more to why I did it. Went ahead and changed things up a little bit on this particular Friday, since we are teaching how to start from nothing and grow it part-time, 1 day a week type of thing. So I will definitely explain why, but let's go through it first. And I was excited. My cart made me feel like I should have used the video. I should have recorded in the second one and used that video, because just because of all the cool stuff I was picking up. But, first up, we've got, this was on the half off, so I paid $3.25 for it. I took a chance just because it looks newer. UMSL Adidas button-up shirt. It looks like it's never even been worn, but so that's the only reason I got that. Plus, I was on that roll. I was like, grabbing left and right. This one I grabbed, but I don't know if I'll be able to use it. These t-shirts were, unless I say, were $1.50. I don't know if this is something I can sell on eBay. I don't know if he's got, you know, when it comes to rights, don't hassle the Hoff and having his likeness on there. I don't know if that's something that would get taken down or anything. So I will check. If not, I'll throw that in my collection to wear on video. So there we go. Either way, let me see what's on top here. Another $1.50. I was fine. The way this St. Vincent's were doing, like they were, some of this stuff I'm grabbing, the women's clothes, they were at one time pricing it $3, $4, and $5. Now they're finally lowering the price on some of this stuff. And even on some of the men's t-shirts I got, I was expecting to see the price tag to be $3.25 or $5.25, and they were $1.50. I'm like, oh crap, when it comes to sports and stuff like that. And stuff like a women's Snoopy in there is usually a little bit higher, but $1.50. So I grabbed the Be Happy Snoopy. I grabbed this one because it's vintage. This was the first one I grabbed. So the Cayman Islands, and it has an old Hanes tag on it. And when I grabbed it, I'm like, okay, this is probably gonna be the only shirt I'm grabbing since it's found on Friday, and I'm only doing it because it's nice, colorful, and vintage. And then I went on a rampage. All right, next up, depending on the size of this, nope, it's medium, so it will go for sale. St. Louis Blues, We Bleed Blue. We've got a Beatles, and normally on shirts like this, they'll put like $3, $3.25 or whatever on, but so women's Beatles shirt, I think it's women's. No, it's a small, so that could be a men's. $1.50. So like this, they would normally have priced this up too, but they didn't. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt, t-shirt with the cape on it, $1.50. So like I said, I was surprised that they priced them back down, but they probably got so much. They had a lot going out or coming in today, so I know all the not all of them anymore, but most of the employees in there, so they were saying they got a lot of stuff coming in today and stuff. If you're familiar with radio stations, St. Louis radio stations, KC 95, there's even a Facebook group called KC Crazies, and my KC stuff constantly sells pretty quick, so this should be a quick flip. And it looks like it was given out at Rock and Roll Car Show in 2010. So somebody will grab this in no time. Something like this, I'll probably put about $25 on. So $1.50. I grab any radio station stuff, but KC is the oldest hard rock station in the country. Hard rock, classic rock station in the country. And so they're pretty well known worldwide. So we've got since I was on that rampage, this Mizzou Tigers shirt. And I got it just because it's got the, I don't know what you call it. I guess embroidered, embossed, whatever. I guess embroidered. Yeah, that's embroidered. This ain't embroidered, but around it's embroidered. Sewn on. So. And the only reason I went ahead and said, okay, I'll grab this Mizzou shirt is because I grabbed this vintage for $6.50. This was one that I was like, now you really shouldn't, but instinct, I'm going ahead. Starter, Missouri Tigers jacket. So I don't know what these are going to be priced at, if I'll find other ones up there. But my original thought was maybe 30, and then, but I was still, yeah, but probably not, maybe 20. I don't want to put 650 in and only get 20 out. And I'm like, nope, instinct. So I was going on instinct. Like, I'll probably end up being able to put it up for at least 30, so go with it. 2 more shirts that I was going to leave behind at $1.50, but I decided, nope, do it. You're on that roll, keep going. You're committed now. And that is a Harry Potter shirt there, Hogwarts Express, you know, with the print, you know, a newer version, if you will, and another one here. So those are 2 that I was almost didn't grab, but did anyway. Will it come back to kick me in the butt? I don't know. We'll see. That's what the series is about. You get to see what sells and everything with me. So since I was on a roll, Red Hawks, and it looked like a game giveaway shirt, stadium giveaway, SGA, if you will. Normally you can tell stadium giveaway SGA items is because they usually have some kind of promotion on them, with the big Burger King on the back there. So if you get sports stuff with promotion on it, chances are it was a stadium giveaway. I saw this, I'm like, oh, cool. And $1.50? Hell yeah. We've got the Arizona State University shirt. Pretty plain, sure. Vintage champion, though. So there we go. So that was good. So they had some good stuff there today. Some good t-shirts that I would have grabbed for not found on Friday. So I'm like, you know what? Since there's so many good ones, I'm grabbing them for found on Friday, and we'll explain why in a video. So I got a Pepsi shirt. I think I got one of these in my store or sold it already. I'll have to check. And I don't know if it's the same size or not, but I remember that picture and the color and everything. So Miss Minnie Mouse. Minnie in the house. Minnie Mouse in the house. And this one had a vintage feel to it, but it's not. It's got a printed tag. What size? And it's only a large, but it looks bigger. And I'm going to start losing weight soon. So this may be a keeper. We'll see. St. Louis Blues. This one looks like an extra large too. I know I didn't shrink overnight. I don't think. That looks like an extra large. So that one I might keep. And on those ones I'm keeping, I'm going ahead and leaving those totals in with the numbers. Just because if you are starting a business of reselling, yes, I'm going to keep this. Yes, I'm going to use it as a write-off for the business. But chances are it's going to be sold eventually. I've even been contemplating putting up my, Blues hats. And like all my personal stuff, it's all, well, not all, but it's working its way to being listed in my store. And you've seen me sell some of my personal stuff. So a lot of personal stuff I'll buy with business because I will resell it. The way I look at it is nothing's off the table of being resold unless I'm using it and like daily or something, right? I mean, for the right price, I'd even sell my bikes and then I'd go buy another one. So if for the right price, I'll sell my Porsche and just go find another vehicle. Like, I'm not attached to anything except some of the small things that my dad left behind, like his wallet filled with stuff. I'm going to keep that just like it is. I got some of my mom's stuff. But from me personally, most of my connection stuff is little kind of goofy, worthless, not goofy, but worthless to other people. Whether that's cards, or this little guy, and I don't even, he is a puffkin, so he might be worth something nowadays, but that I've had forever. A Cannonball Run cup that's so faded it's not really worth anything, but it brings back memories for me. But it's eventually probably going to go in the store anyway. But the only thing that I can think of offhand that I would never ever part with, no matter what, for no type of money, is this Curious George. I've had them since I was 8 years old. My brother's first wife gave them to me. I slept with them constantly. He was given to me before I went into the hospital, had my tonsils and adenoids taken out, so he went with me to the hospital. He's even still got his old hospital tag on it that says James Helferstay's little friend. He got a cat one, and I got a dog one. And this is the only thing that I will never sell. So hopefully one of the boys will carry him on. And maybe I need to tell them that, just in case I die tomorrow. Carry him on. He is me for life, if you will. So that's why, I buy personal stuff with business money like that. I mean, I wouldn't go out and buy something that I know, like is just crazy off the charts. But if it's something used at a thrift store, like I wouldn't go out and buy brand new Gucci clothes and put it on the business, even though I'm going to sell it, because that would be a loss of money. That'd be something I would personally buy. So I wouldn't go that far if I was you. But like a $1.50 shirt in a thrift store, don't sweat something like that. Plus, I'm getting ready to go through my closet and pull out shirts anyway and throw them in my store and move them. So there's a lot in there I haven't worn in a long time. Next up, we've got a Looney Tunes polo with Taz on it called Mr. Fix-It. This one was another one I was on the fence about, $6.50. I'm like, oh, that's just way too much for this polo. But it's very specific. I should have looked them up to see if there's any more out there. I was hoping to push 30 on it, but if there's any out there, I know I probably won't be able to. We've got Washington Capitals with TJ Oshie, a St. Louis favorite since he started with the Blues. So we've got, there was a couple of just random Nike shirts for $1.50. And normally on the sports or the athletic gear, they'll price them at, I think it's $3.25 now. It was $3.75, I think. Then they marked them down to $3.25. But I was surprised to see $1.50 on this. So, and we got, what we got here? Here's another one I almost just didn't grab. Missouri State Bears. Because I'm like, when's the last time I sold a Missouri State one? Because I grab the stuff all the time at the bins. But I'm like, when's the last time I sold a Missouri State item? So I got 18 Missouri State Bear items in my store. Readoptionagency.com. Let's see, in the past 90 days, I've sold 3. So that one I almost passed on because of that reason. But I'm like, screw it. Actually, I don't have no shirts, do I? I got this hoodie type. I got tank top, long sleeve, hoodie, and a women's shirt. So I don't have a men's t-shirt anyway, so we'll see. Next up, another Mickey piece that I expected to find $3 1/4 or $5 on, $1.50. This looks like a nightgown. Medium 7 to 9. Unless it's just extra long. Is that a thing? I don't know. Women's clothes confuse me. And then for $1.50, I'll grab these all day long. Simply Southern. Teachers plant seeds that grow forever. So, Simply Southern. Plus, I'm definitely trying to get more clothing in my store anyway. So, I've slacked on that highly in the last couple of years. So, another Nike shirt that I expected to see higher. But Pre's Trail Run. I didn't know exactly what this was. But it looks pretty specific. From 1977 and looked like a throwback vintage piece. So I'm like, yeah, for $1.50, I'm definitely grabbing that. Got the spiral logo on the back. So figured that was like a retro piece. And then lastly, it looks like, I think that's last, is a Wonder Woman t-shirt. So there we go, with the vintage retro look on it from '84, but it's a newer shirt. So yeah, that's it. So $150-ish. The player's up for 100. They've been selling at about 60, but the lowest one out there right now is 100. So I figured I'll match that, and I got best offer. So boom. And hopefully that Mint record player will sell pretty quick, and make back a chunk of my money, a quarter or a third of my money, hopefully, just on that piece. So stay tuned for the next video, and we'll go over the numbers, what sold, and where we're standing. So thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.